As promised, this is my Wandrd Prvke 31 user review. I just got back from a week-long trip to London, and I had this bag with me every single day, both carrying all of my camera gear and odds and ends to and from, and lugging around my camera, tripod, microphone, power banks, accessory cables, batteries, anything I purchased during the day, all went in this bag, and it worked great. Now, I'm going to do both the things I like, the things I don't like. We're going to start with all of the negative things to just get them out of the way so we end on a positive note. But one thing I want to note that's kind of a negative, that turned out to be a positive, but still kind of a negative, I want to add that first. As you can see, I actually have my jacket on the bag. Now, I can do this for two reasons. Because the strap is two pieces, it allows to hold it across the top. There's two lasting straps on either side that I'm able to clip around the top and sleeves of the jacket. So that actually attaches the jacket to the bag. The good and the bad is this strap here. Now, this strap system I loved in the beginning because it's magnetic, so it's pretty easy to seat itself. You can see when it gets close, it kind of pulls itself in. But the more I used it, it kind of gets in the way, mostly because if it doesn't strap all the way, it falls down, and if you go to put your straps on, it kind of lays on your back, and it's not comfortable. But to lash your jacket, or anything else for that matter, across the top, it's kind of ideal. But it's still kind of bulky and gets in the way. Now, I think they definitely could have come up with a slightly better system. The strap is just too long. Now, it's like that because it's a roll top bag, so if the bag is expanded, the strap could still cover it. But generally, you're not gonna carry that much stuff all the time. So the straps kind of get in the way. I feel like if they mounted a strap more towards the seam of the roll top and just use one strap, it would have worked out a lot better. Now, I want to move into the thing that is most disappointing about this bag. This was something I was actually really excited about, and then when I got the bag, I was really, really bummed about. Let's get into it. It's going to be here in the back of the bag. And it's the way I have to carry my laptop. Now, this is a Dell 15-inch gaming laptop. It's kind of thick, all right? Now, granted, most laptops that you're gonna carry aren't this thick, but a laptop is meant to be portable. Now, this sleeve is nowhere near thick enough to fit my laptop. I mean, it does not go in. So what I have to do is I literally stick my laptop here. Now, I believe you could probably fit up to a 17-inch laptop in here. It'd be snug, but I think you can do it. The reason I don't like this is because I have the padding for the tablet sleeve, the padding for the laptop, and I also have the padding for the cube. Now, this bag is actually meant to have you remove this insert completely, and it's actually tucks down and under, so it's out of the way. So now you just have a flap. You just open the flap, get your camera. This is where my camera sat. This is where my microphone sat. This is where I would put my extra battery bank, some other odds and ends I had right in this little pouch here. Also, my DJI Mavic fits perfectly in here. But because my laptop has to sit here, I have to leave this extra piece of padding in for protection for my camera gear. Now, I ordered this bag months and months ago, probably in February. And at the time, the pictures shown had the old laptop system. It was a 4-panel system. Now, what it did, it was one large flap like this that would come up, 2 smaller side flaps, and then 1/4 top flap. So what you would do, you'd lay your laptop down, you'd cover it with the large flap, and then you take these side panels and you'd put them down depending upon the thickness of your laptop, and then that fourth one would just secure it in so it didn't slide out. I got the bag, and it had this tablet laptop sleeve combination with a little elastic loop. I did email Wandrd about this right away, and they got back to me really quickly. They did apologize that the collateral on their website was not accurate, and they actually took it down right away. So if you go to the website now, I'm fairly certain that the images shown reflect the current product. I will try to find the old product photos just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. They did tell me I could return the bag for a full refund. I chose not to do that, and honestly at this point, I probably would still keep the bag, although that is a massive disappointment for me. I did tell them not everybody has, nor does everybody want a MacBook Pro. But I make do with what I have. It makes the bag a little bit more bulky, but ultimately, it's not a deal breaker for me. Now we'll move on to the features that I like about this bag, and we'll start with the outside. This main front flat pocket here. Now, in here I keep my tablet that also has a Sharpie and a pen and pencil in there, and I keep some documents in this little stash pocket here. Now, the compartment itself is very versatile. It's big. I actually took to keeping my battery bank in here on vacation. The downside is the zipper seam ends right here. So even though the seam on the bag goes an extra inch and a quarter or so to the edge here, the pocket stops there, which makes it a little tight. This thing just doesn't fit, but luckily I could tuck the edge over and it just fits. If I had an extra inch here and went to the seam of the bag, that would make this pouch so much better. The only other thing that I dislike about this would be there's actually no place overall for any organization of things like cleaning kits, pens, pencils. As a professional videographer, I would never be able to use this bag for work because I have to carry a lot of paperwork that I need to have models sign, release forms and whatnot. So I'm always looking for pens and pencils, and I always need a few little things here or there, where this, I have them stashed in my tablet bag, so I always have a pen and pencil on me, but it's not easily accessible. I have to go inside this pocket, then I have to go inside this bag, then I have to dig inside the bag, then I gotta wrap the bag back up, put the bag back in the... It's a pain. There's no easy, accessible pen, pencil organization, anything like that. I can easily fit my release forms in here, but then I have loose paper, or I have to go back to something like this, or I could probably stick like a folder in here, but that's more stuff that I have to buy and stick in here, where you would think there'd be just one little spot someplace where I can just have a couple pen and pencil slots. That would be perfect. That's one thing that I would personally change about the bag. Now, the second thing that I really like about this bag that honestly at first I didn't think I was going to utilize or like at all is the Sunglass Pocket. Now, it's got this soft little exterior for your sunglass lenses, but I use this every single day because I keep my battery wallet in here, because the one thing this bag lacks is a battery pocket. It does not have anywhere to stick your batteries, although it's a photography bag. I also have in here right now a 9-volt battery for the microphone, poo bags for Oliver, and I kept an iPhone cable in here. My battery bank was a little big, so that itself didn't fit in here. And I did keep sunglasses in here. I did wear my contacts a lot while we were on vacation, so at night when we were still out, I put my sunglasses in here because I didn't want to have them on my head or hanging off my shirt. But this pouch is ideal for a battery pocket. It's great because I can grab my 9-volt, I can grab my camera batteries right away. It's right on the outside, and it's actually quite large. I did not like how on the inside of this flap, I thought it was going to get in the way, because the flap itself just takes up space in the main compartment. So I thought this was going to get in the way, and honestly, it didn't. It didn't get in the way at all. It actually laid fairly flat against the back piece here, and everything that I needed in here was completely fine. It did not get in the way at all. One thing you notice about this bag are these red tabs. Again, these are Think Tank cable wraps. I untied most of these and just threaded them through the accessory loops that were on the bag. I like these because I can strap my tripod to them. I can strap a larger tripod to this bag. These were like $7.50 to $10 on Amazon or B&H, and you can also pop these off real quick if I need them. I just have these ones looped through so I can take them off and use them for anything I need them for, because they're very versatile things. Someone recently asked me if I regretted not getting the rainfly or the accessory straps. No, I do not, because I actually have, if I could find the zipper, I have a rainfly that fits the bag, so I didn't need to purchase another rainfly, and I didn't need the accessory straps because honestly, I felt like it was a waste. I knew I can buy something like this, and I have straps from other bags and other gear that I could easily utilize on this bag. So it was, for me, it was just not worth the upgraded money, but for someone else, it might be a valid purchase. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm just saying I didn't need them, so I didn't choose to buy them. Now, before I went with the straps for my tripod, I was actually just sticking my tripod in the drink pocket. That worked fine. I also carried an Nalgene bottle in here to and from London. One thing I really like is this little pocket right here. This thing is very nice. And here I keep business card wallet, and these are actually BO gear from my old backpack. They're called Sharp sacks or Sharp sacks, I can't remember, but in one I have like some headphones and some odds and ends. And the other one, which is great for traveling, it's change. Whenever I have change in my pocket, I throw it in here, throw it in my bag, and then I don't have to worry about putting it into that little cup in security, remembering to grab it all, trying to grab all the change. It's perfect. So this is great. And there's also, I can find it, a little key clip in here. So you can clip your keys, which I did. I had my house keys clipped in here while we were on vacation. So I didn't need them every day, but I didn't have to worry about losing them. I just clipped them, left them in my bag, it was fine. Business card wallet came in handy because I gave out a lot of these while we were there, and that was great. Now, the third thing that I really like about this bag is the important documents pocket. Now in here, I actually have, I guess, some napkins, but I had my passport, extra money, we had our bus tickets to and from New York City. I kept all that in here. I did not have it in here when we were walking around the city because I didn't want to carry my passport, and I didn't want to carry extra money, so I locked them up in the safe at the hotel. But traveling to and from, all of that stuff stayed in here. We were on the New York City subway system for like an hour and a half to and from the airport, and I felt completely fine with everything stashed in here. Everything was safe, and honestly, it's kind of so incognito that it blends in with the padding on the backpack, so if someone were to make me take the bag off and rummage through the bag, I don't even think they would have seen this pouch here. It blends in nicely, and I really like that. Number, what am I on, 4, 5? I don't know. We'll stop counting here. But I really like all of the webbing. You can see here I have an S carabiner hook. This doubles over as a bottle opener. Fits perfectly in here. You never know when you're gonna need a carabiner or an S hook. You never know when you're gonna need to open up a bottle. So this is doubly handy. Now, on the old style, there was actually memory card slots, and I believe this is still 4, but it doesn't really fit my lens cap. It's a lens cap holder, so when you're shooting, you just take the lens cap off, you stick it in here. Now there's 2 of them in here. There's a really small one that's not gonna hold any lens cap, and then this little bit bigger one. Now the lens that I use is a Sony 10-18. It is, if I look at the lens from here, I wanna say it's like 62 millimeters, so the lens cap is really small. So it doesn't fit snugly in here. I was afraid I was gonna lose it, so I generally stuck it in my pocket or in this top pocket here. So this didn't really come in very useful for me at all. The only thing, and you can see here it's doing it right now, is the sternum strap worked its way up And in the airport, this side actually, if I can get it, it popped off, which I had a mini freak out that my new expensive bag broke. And then I realized, you can't tell on camera, but there's a tube that goes through here that this kind of stays on. And when you get to the top here, it's flat. The tube doesn't go all the way to the top. So what happened was this strap, as you just saw, it should have been down like this. It worked its way up. I don't know if that's me or if it's the bag itself, but you kind of have to just work it back on, and then it goes right back on, and it's fine. It migrated off. So if that happens to you, just feel the side. It's on both sides. The top is flat. It's just the tubing ends, and you can slide it back on or off. But it may upset you when it first happens. The main reason I really like this bag, and I went with this bag over something like a Peak Design bag, and I have seen a lot of Peak Design bags around lately. But this bag right here is also a roll top backpack. And it's pretty expandable. It goes from 31 to about 36 liters. So I can legitimately hold up to about this. This strap expands, although it's new, so it's not very one-handed friendly. I can hold a lot of stuff in this bag. And that's still using it as a camera bag. In here now I have my laptop power supply, bandana shmog. That's all I have in here right now. But the fact that I get into the top compartment and the camera cube via the back of the bag as well is also a plus. So if I have this expanded up really high, and there's something I need down low, I can open up the back of the bag, unzip this, and I can get to the bottom of it very easily. And as I showed in my intro video to this bag, my first impressions, this camera cube is actually completely removable, and you can make the entire backpack just a backpack. So this cube comes out, there's a Velcro divider up here, and I can make this whole thing one big backpack. Now the camera cube itself easily fits the Sony a6500, the Rode VideoMic Pro. I could fit right now my DJI Mavic Pro in this compartment, no problem. I can't fit the controller in here right now because I have my tech pouch in the bottom here, but with a little bit of rearranging, I'm sure I could fit all of this with the controller. If not, I can easily stick it in the top bag here. Now, the camera cube, I love this thing because it's integrated with the bag, and here's how. The camera cube itself unzips and is integrated into the side flap of the backpack. So you unzip the camera cube side, tuck it into here, and now you have one flap so you can use one shoulder to easily access your camera. And in here is a nifty little pocket where I have hair ties because my hair is kind of long now, but also there's 3 little memory card pockets here that I can easily fit at least 6 memory cards. I have 1 in each now, so I have 3 extra memory cards with me, but I can easily fit another 2 of those plastic sleeves in each of these little sleeves and have 6 memory cards, if not more. And also, you could stick any other small odds and ends right in here. Now, the side access panel was very useful for me while we were traveling, especially while we were just walking around and I didn't really have to worry about audio. If I didn't need the microphone, all I had to do was drop my right shoulder strap, spin the bag around, unzip, grab, got my camera out. Done, put the camera back in there, and then I just zipped the bag back up, back on, and I'm going. I didn't have to carry it around, hold it, use the neck strap, which I do utilize quite often, but after, walking around in the hot sun, and it was 90 degrees while we were in London for like 3 or 4 of the 5 days. So it was warm. You start getting a little sweaty and it starts chafing you a little bit. So I didn't always want to have that camera dangling on me. So it was easy to put away, especially if we're going inside someplace nice like the museum. I didn't know if I could film in there, so I would just put the camera away real quick. And I still had hands free, and then boom, camera back out. It was great. So that was very, very useful for me. The Sternum Strap, other than the fact that it migrates up and just on the left side for me. The right side always stayed pretty good. I can easily just adjust that if I needed to, because throughout the day you're kind of like you're moving it around, and depending upon where the load is in the bag, if there's not a lot in the bag might ride a little bit higher, but the more you put in it, the further the bag's going to want to pull. So you can actually just easily slide this around and tighten up the sternum strap, and that comes in really, really handy. Just be careful, like I said, mine tends to migrate up, and it didn't break. I thought it did at first, but it migrated up and popped off. You can put it back on pretty easily. Now, the bag itself is actually really, really comfortable. I mean, it doesn't take up too much space. Yes, I have a big piece of metal dangling off the back of it there. I could stick it in the side panel though and be pretty good and be a little more narrow. But it's comfortable. It was really hot when we were there, so I was sweating. There's nothing you can do when it's 90 degrees and you're really, really hot. But the design of the back, it really helped vent it, and I definitely could have been and have been much warmer in similar temperatures with different backpacks. Walking around all day long, I didn't feel fatigued in this bag at all. The shoulder straps were very comfortable. I mean, for the most part, the bag still looks pretty brand new. Really, there's some scuffs on the outside. I actually wore through, if you can see this little dot here, that's the green. I wore through the logo. I think that was from my power bank in here. It slid down and the bag might have been resting somewhere, probably on one of the trains when we were going to or from Brighton. And see how I didn't put this back together? It does seed pretty easily, and I like that. But it's not a strong magnet, so sometimes it pops open. Now, like, see, one of them, the bag's gonna hang forward, the other one, the bag's gonna hang back, which is why they did a double, so now it hangs even. But I feel like if they stuck something closer to the seam, which is more in the middle of the bag, it might have had a similar effect without having to deal with sometimes it getting in your way. But it works out great when you're trying to strap something like a jacket or a sweatshirt that you're too warm to wear and you don't want to stick it inside the bag. Now, if you're like me and don't like camera bags, because in a camera bag, you can only really carry camera gear, a bag like this, the Wandrd Prvke 21 if you don't need so much stuff, 31 that this is a really great bag. I've heard some people say that the components seemed cheap compared to their first design. I never had hands on their first design. I mean, the cordage on the bag here is pretty thin, but the zippers maybe could have been a little beefier, but as far as the weather sealed zippers go, I mean, they're pretty solid. The bag itself, I mean, I wasn't rough with this because it had my camera gear in it, but I wasn't gentle. I mean, it's a backpack, and I think they're like $230, $240, something like that. And then it goes up depending upon what accessories you buy. I only got the backpack and the camera cube. You do have to, if you're thinking about ordering one, you have to buy the camera cube separate. If you buy the bag, it's not going to come with the camera cube. They do have packages where you can get the photographer's package, where it will come with the bag, the cube, and the accessory straps. But it's more than I needed to spend because, again, I didn't need the accessory straps. If you need them, that might be a good package for you to try. But as far as this bag goes, from 1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 8. I'm never 100% happy, but I'm really happy with this. I can fit all of my camera gear that I need. I obviously carried my camera gear, battery chargers, batteries, microphones, tripods, and I could fit a full-size tripod in this bag too, and all my extra crap that I need, just clothes, scarves. I could throw an extra t-shirt or two in here, my jacket, everything for travel. I did have a suitcase, so I had all my clothes in a carry-on suitcase, but if I were to go away for a few days and I needed to carry my camera gear and just some clothes, I could easily do that with this pack. So a solid 8 out of 10 I think is a really good score for this bag. That's good. That means if you're thinking about buying this bag and you're torn between, which seems to be a lot of people, between this or the Peak Designs everyday carry bag, and you want something that's a little more versatile I definitely say go with this. The equipment that I carried was a Sony a6500, a Rode VideoMic Pro, 4 extra batteries for the camera, 2 battery chargers for the camera. They're small though, one is inside that tech pouch. My media tech pouch, I carried 2 battery banks, international power adapter, a Syrii 3T35K tripod, tablet, an odds and ends pouch, my laptop, and probably a few other things in this bag, and I had plenty of room. On the way back, I had souvenirs in this bag. Everything fit, and this still fit. It did not fit underneath my seat on the plane, but there was a large box in the way for some reason underneath my seat both times, to and from. Had I taken the tripod off the side, it probably would have fit, but it fit overhead, no problem, nothing broke. My tip is lay it down this way, because your laptop's going to be in your bag, the back of the bag, so you don't want the laptop, if you do hit turbulence, to smash down. So I put it down flat, because either way you look at it, the camera gear is going to be on something hard. It's either going to be on your laptop or the ground, and the camera cube itself, I think, is a little more padded because it's built for impact. So I laid it down this way so my laptop didn't get broken. And nothing happened to the camera, microphone, any other of the gear. Everything was fine. Peak Designs, it's got dual access sides, so both of the sides on the Peak Designs zip and flap open, but it's designed for the whole compartment to be camera gear. Sure, you can section it off to carry extra other stuff, but I don't like that. I like the idea of this bag. I do like cycle style bags, and being a roll top, it's more of a cycle style bag for me. So again, solid 8 out of 10. If you are thinking about getting this bag and you're on the fence, I highly recommend this bag. People are going to probably discourage you from getting this bag, but everyone has their own opinions. And other than the laptop sleeve, this bag is very suited for my needs. I could also rearrange that camera cube if I needed to carry more lenses. I probably could have easily fit 2 lenses plus everything I had in this bag, no problem. Some of the stuff I had in that cube I could have easily put up top and it would have been fine. I just had the space in the cube because I didn't bring my drone, so I put it down there, so I didn't have to have this bag expanded all the way. But you get an extra 5 liters of expansion with this bag. I put this thing through its paces. I took it to Philadelphia all day long, and it was probably 85, 90 degrees in Philly that day. I took it through London for 5 days, 2 days of traveling, so like 7 days on the road. This thing held up great. I think that's pretty much it. I covered the good and the bad. There's more good than bad. If you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, I say pull the trigger and go for it. It's a great bag. It's going to serve you well.